there, everybody. I'm John Gray.
And the party's over. Too bad.
No, the party's just
Oh,
started.
is it still going on? Okay.
That other party, that 18 party's over. The 19 party just got
It's just
started.
started.
That's right.
New year. Gosh, 2019. I never
We'll
thought I'd
probably
live
have
this
to be
long.
retrained today because actually during the holiday season we taped a lot of stuff and we really hadn't been here live in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I know.
That's
So-
probably the
so we're
longest
probably
we've been
repeating
off.
ourselves.
Have not been here and
know.
since we've been in business.
just
Probably so,
Yeah.
the way it turned out.
Yeah, the way it worked out, yeah.
the holidays turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sure is.
So that won't happen often.
No, it won't. But we all had a good. Of course, we work anyway, but
Oh,
we're just
yeah.
not.
We
We're
weren't
just
on
not
the air.
doing. We're
How
not. we
about the
weren't on
weather?
air.
For the last couple of days, it's like summer.
Yeah,
It's like summer.
absolutely.
It's good. It needs to be
Yeah,
to
it
dry
was
off all the
nice.
damn rain. I mean, it rained like a flood around here for days.
I know, and I live on a
and
hill,
days
and
know
my
somebody
valley was
days.
full.
Somebody posted on Facebook they were getting concerned because their mud was dehydrating. so anyway,
Yeah, river runs through it.
yeah.
There you go.
When we bought our house, it's amazing what grass does. The lot catty-cornered across from us was a vacant lot, and it had grass in it about that high, you know. Well, I looked at my lot, and Fran and I looked at it, and there was never any water in my lot at all. Well, somebody else bought that house over there and bought that corner lot, and they mowed that lot. Well, all of a sudden, all the water that grass was sucking up,
Come
that
in
grass
your
wasn't there
yard.
anymore.
Yeah.
And so right across the catty corner across my front yard, a river runs through it.
Yeah.
I mean, when it rains real hard.
When it
Of course,
rains,
it's
it
not.
rains.
It doesn't get up in close to the house or anything.
Right.
But it's just kind of funny what vegetation does.
Oh, yeah.
In diversion of water problems.
Yeah.
So.
I've got a stream running through my backyard
Have you?
when it rains. Yeah, a lot.
Well, I'm on a hill, and there's a valley
there-
below me. And the other day, I looked out, and the valley was,
Full.
the road was closed, and the valley was way up. I was living on a lake.
Well, and when you leave your house and you go down toward the store,
Yeah.
that's pretty deep. That's pretty deep valley right
I think
there.
it's pretty
Pretty
cool
deep,
that
yeah.
Peggy lives in a big house on the hill. Hey, it's just
not too
quite
big.
appropriate.
Ranch.
It's quite appropriate because for a star like Peggy
That's
to be
right.
living in that house.
Of course.
We need to get, if we ever can make enough money, which probably won't be possible, we need to get her some iron gates out there.
I have iron gates
with
on mine.
musical notes at the driveway
yeah.
that automatically
Kind of like
open up.
Elvis's house.
Oh, well,
Kind of like
certainly.
Elvis's house.
Yeah, Elvis or George Jones or any of those people have
Yeah.
a dolly.
Have
Peggy
a nice,
Wood.
Have
Yeah.
a nice big gate.
Yeah, Peggy Wood. Welcome to Peggy Wood.
Yeah,
Maybe we should do that here in Tullahoma.
Peggy Top.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh my, y'all. Dreamers.
Dreamers.
Both of you. Dreamers.
Aren't dreamers wonderful? Where would
No,
we
it's
be
not that, Peggy. It's
without
just-
dreamers?
It's just that we haven't grown up yet. We're
I
not
know.
real sure what we're going to do. when
I know.
we grow
Who
up.
do you want to be like
I
when you
don't,
grow up?
I don't know. We're still trying to
changes.
figure out.
It does change,
It
doesn't
changes.
it?
You know, it's like success changes. You know, the closer you get to success, the definitions change.
Yeah.
You know, you think, boy, I'd really like to have a house with a one-car garage on it. Well, then you own one.
And
Then
there
you go,
I wish
well, I'd
I'd
really
gotten
like to
one.
have a house with a two-car garage.
Right.
So the more successful you get, the definition of success changes. In a society like we have.
In a way, but to me, success is just being satisfied with what you have and being appreciative of what you have. I don't call success gigantic amounts
You're
of money.
one in a
In a
million.
But it's true.
What was that? That was a
Exile song. I
was it
think.
Exile?
I believe
Yeah,
it.
1 in a million. Not everybody, and it would be wonderful if everybody in society judged success that way.
Well-
but most don't.
Yeah.
I mean, what good is millions and billions if you're unhappy with your life and you hate yourself and all
I
this?
asked
You know, that's-
85% of the people in America that, because 85% of the people in America, maybe 80% of the people in America are clawing and fighting and scratching every day
And-
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah.
to get to that next rung on the ladder.
Yeah.
Every day. never pleased.
That's too
You know,
bad.
John
Isn't that horrible?
John told me one time that, and I never thought of it before. This has been several years ago, but it seemed like we would get just about there.
Yeah,
we thought we
just
were,
almost
well,
on
we
the
thought we were
edge.
doing good, and then we'd go down.
And
John,
somebody would-
yeah, and John said, you know, Jim, I think we just have to realize that if we have reached the highest level we're allowed to go,
You're allowed to go.
Yeah.
in our class,
There you go.
this is it.
They'll let you
Yeah,
sniff.
But then
You
after
can reach up and sniff that rare air, but you can't live in it.
That's right. That's right.
Get a breath every now
Yeah,
and
that's
then.
right. But
I think a person learning to be satisfied. You
Oh, yeah.
just need to learn to be satisfied.
Sure.
I don't envy people. Do you
No,
envy people?
no, I don't envy anybody.
I'm proud of people and I admire people,
Well, the thing
but I
of-
don't envy people.
I think the thing about it is we all look at other people in a way that you think, wow, look what they've got. Wow, look at this. Wow, look at that. They've all got problems just like we do.
Oh, sure.
oh yeah.
Their household, they got problems in their household just like you've got in your
Right.
household. The dollar might not go to the end of the month over there just like it doesn't at your household.
Yeah.
Because they got 3 bigger cars than you've got. They still got to pay for it.
They still
Right.
got
You know, so the problems are the same. They're just on a grander scale.
Right.
And a lot of times the problems are more because of the feeling, the feeling of entitlement. You know,
Yeah, you're
I
probably
deserve
right.
this.
Right.
I deserve
Well, if
that.
you work for it, you deserve it.
Yeah.
You know,
But
if
if
you
you can't
earn
afford
it,
it,
well, if you earn it, you deserve it. And if you earn it and can afford what
there
it
you
is
go.
you want,
The whole thing is, can you
can
afford
you
it?
afford it?
Right.
Yeah.
Or can you, or do you go buy it whether you can afford it or not? Because
And many people
Miss
do.
Jones or Mr.
Yeah.
Jones over here just bought one, and they can't afford it,
Right.
and you got to keep up.
The scary thing to me is how easy it is to get a credit card. I don't know if there's been some restrictions put on it, like college students that maybe have never had to worry about a credit card, and then they can easily get one, and
Well, of course
they
they
don't
can
care
get
if it's 25% if you only pay the minimum.
Those
Right.
credit card people don't care either.
I know, but there's some. There
Oh,
will be-
they're
there will be
hoping you do that.
They're
restrictions.
throwing, hey, Peggy, that's like throwing that big red worm out there trying to get that bass.
There should be restrictions on that kind of thing. I don't know.
That
Maybe there
that
are.
brings about a point I wanted to say, a little thing, because everybody's going back to school. And I wrote something a while back, and it's
going
an
back to school?
it's an important thing. Well, our school systems
I
are
know.
back
I
in.
know. I know.
And this is Loku number 150. If you take time to look back, you will see a bright light that changed your life. 9 times out of 10, it will be a teacher.
I think you're right on that.
And with that said, I remember teachers. And, you know, teachers used to be, of course, teaching when we went to school was a whole different profession than it is
Oh, yes.
now. But a lot of the teachers were couples.
Yeah.
Robert E. Lee, that the Robert E. Lee grade school's named for, he was the head of the school system here, and his wife, Mrs. Lee, was the one who whipped the girls. Girls got whipped just like boys did, but Mr. Lee didn't do it.
I
Miss
got
Lee,
my share.
Miss Lee whipped them.
I didn't remember.
Did you ever
that.
get
Oh
whipped?
yeah. And then
Once.
there was Mr. and Miss Ballard, who were
Yeah.
married, and they were in the school system, and that's your
That's my
sister,
sister, yeah.
who was a music teacher, and her husband was a
Principal.
principal.
Yeah.
He started off being a truant officer
And a coach.
and a coach, and then a principal. Then we had the Turners, Mr. and Miss Turner, and he was a principal over at East Lincoln School, and she was a
She was,
guidance
yeah.
counselor, not guidance, but truant after Mr. Ballard left.
Right.
And then, of course, there were the Garrisons at the high school. Mr.
Who
Garrison was
made a
principal.
tremendous impact
and
on the
she
community.
was guidance counselor. There were the McClures, Creed and Blanche McClure,
Fabulous people.
and great people and great family. The Weavers, Max Weaver and
Yeah.
Jane Weaver. He was the band director. And
Mm-hmm.
she was a chemistry teacher. And then there were the Cardens.
Right.
And when I was in East Junior High School, Coach Carden, of course, was a coach and a teacher, history teacher as well. And then Miss Carden was a home ec and taught young ladies. And the thing about it is, back in those days, they helped these young women learn how to be young women. It wasn't, they gave them social skills and things like that. And Miss Carden, these girls could go and talk to somebody like that.
Yeah.
That was another mother away from the household, and we don't have that kind of stuff in school now. Milner Carden, you loved him or you hated him. That's just the way it was. But you always knew where he stood.
You knew where he stood. An honest man.
And Miss Carden, Martha,
Fabulous.
all you could do is love her.
Oh, yeah.
And I was driving around. I had a little surgery this past week, and Fran and I were driving around the other day, Sunday afternoon, just driving because it was a beautiful day. And we drove out by Lake Hills and drove by the Carden's house and pulled in and saw Miss Carden, and she came out and visited with us. And Martha Carden, you're still my girlfriend. You'll always be my girlfriend. She's one of the most wonderful women that you can ever see. To live with Milner Carden all those years, she will have a crown forever.
Actually, though, Milner was he had a lot of positive traits.
Oh, sure he did. He was a great
If you were
guy.
a young man, he could get and played sports or whatever
He
it
got it
was.
done.
Get the best out of you.
He could get the best you had out of you. If you
And he put on a uniform, just like you.
Yeah.
Go out there and play. But that's just a little tribute to some of our teachers and some of the couples that were involved in teaching together. And I would imagine back in those days when they were hiring, they may even looked for
They
couples.
might have, just because it was the thing to do,
Fit the
I
bill,
guess.
yeah. So,
So you wrote a locu about it?
yeah, well, that was just the one, the teacher one. But there's one other thing I want to say right here, and this involves all of us,
Okay.
3 of us. They could be the pleasure you seek or the vehicle to achieve it. Either way, there is adventure involving old coins.
I got to think about it.
Well, if you have an old coin, you might be a coin collector. If you have an old coin, that's the treasure you're seeking. But if you find an old coin and it's worth a bunch of money, that might be the avenue when you sell it to find another treasure you're seeking.
Okay.
And old coins just doesn't necessarily mean coins. The 3 of us are old coins.
Tell
We've
me
been
about
around
it.
long enough to have a little value.
I hope so.
And hopefully we're sharing it with you out there. Martha Carden, I love you. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's football time in Tennessee, and nobody tackles the competition like the Russell Barnett Automotive family. With 6 locations to serve you, certified collision center, over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from at russellbarnett.com, hometown auto rental, limited lifetime powertrain warranty on certain units, certified pre-owned units. Too many reasons to mention why. Keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
Ah, the glory days. Running to daylight on the gridiron and chasing a ball with a mind of its own. Cheering the team to victory and marching to the beat of your own drum. Memories that last a lifetime. But sometimes we're reminded of our glory days in ways we'd rather forget. Get back in the game. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live and play well.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, we're back, and I'm with Sean from the Tullahoma Science Center, and we are glad to have him here. You're not new, but you're newer.
Newer,
than
yep.
some.
Yep, it's about 9 months now.
About
so it's
9
coming
months?
along.
Hands-on Science Center, and we talked about this before. You like snakes?
I do. Yep, I am big into the reptiles. Definitely.
The reptile stuff.
Definitely like snakes a lot.
Good. And so is there a bigger and better snake presence at the Science Center
a little
than there
bit.
was?
We actually did just get 2 new donations of a couple of snakes. So glad you mentioned that, because one of the big things that we have done is a new animal room. We've actually expanded our
wonderful.
smaller animal room into a much bigger area. So a lot of really exciting stuff coming up in 2019.
That's great. What do you have here? I know you've got a list down here of things you want to get to. What's happening out there, and what's coming up right soon?
Yeah, like I said, a lot of really exciting things for 2019. Every single month, we're going to be having a special event, special free event to get people to come out and take a look at the new facility.
Time out.
Yeah.
I expect you back here every single month.
I
to
will be
promote
here.
this stuff.
I will definitely
Okay.
be here for
Now,
that.
go on.
Absolutely. The first one coming up is going to be January 31st. It is National Inspire Your Heart with Art Day. And we're going to be combining the art and the science and having some real cool crafts and stuff for the kids to do. It's going to be from 4 to 6 on that day, on January 31st. So people definitely need to come out and check that out. It's going to be really great.
That's good.
The next one coming up is in February. February 8th is National Fly a Kite Day. We're going to make some kites, learn the science behind flying kites. And then March 3rd is World Wildlife Day. That'll be a real big one. We're going to have a lot of, I like the animals.
Right,
So we're going to have
right.
lots of real cool animals out there, do some real cool reptile shows, maybe interact with a snake
And
or
the
something.
Tullahoma Bear will be there.
We might be able to work something like that out.
Well, he's there. He's there always.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he'll be there. And
He'll be there. He
maybe-
might put a special hat on him. Put an Abe Lincoln hat on him.
That'll work. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, monthly events is
Sure.
obviously something huge, but that's just the tip of the iceberg for 2019. We're actually going to be implementing a rotational exhibit schedule, where we actually have a small area where we'll be doing temporary exhibits. So something fresh every quarter. First one's going to be in April. We're going to have a butterfly exhibit talking about spring with all the butterflies. Really, really cool exhibit there. And then the real big one coming up this summer. I don't know how many people actually know, but it's the 50th anniversary of something. You remember? 50th anniversary of the moon landing.
Yes.
Yes, and a lot of people know, but there's a lot of young people out there that don't know the impact that Tullahoma had on that moon landing. With the Arnold Air Force Base here, Tullahoma actually had a big, big part
certainly.
in that Apollo mission. So we're going to have a really, really cool rotational exhibit talking about that as well. So lots of exciting stuff, lots of new exhibits.
Is there going to be anybody there that's going to tell us for sure whether it's hollow or not?
We'll see. We're going to be talking to NASA
Do we
about
have some
stuff.
ancient
Yeah.
aliens who are going to come to the Tullahoma Science Center?
I can't tell you all the details right
All
now.
right,
There's
that's
some
cool.
secret
That's
stuff.
Really cool. Yeah, I'm sure there is. Now, a question on these things, like the butterfly exhibit and the moon exhibit and everything. Do you tie in with other science centers that might have some of these exhibits that do y'all send stuff around to each other if you have a point that you have more stuff about maybe than other places do?
That's something we're really working on trying to do. There are science center organizations,
Sure.
like associations. One thing that the Hands-On Science Center hasn't done a whole lot of is that. That is something I'm going to try to work towards in 2019, is really reaching more of those facilities to do some more cooperative programs. We do programs with libraries and things
Yeah,
like that, but
yeah.
we really want to try and connect to the rest of the Science Center community to really reach out to some of those too.
Well,
So that's a goal.
and with us here in Tullahoma having Arnold Center out here, I would think that our group would probably have, other than Huntsville and maybe Houston, have more information and more parts and pieces that a lot of these little science centers around the country don't have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because of what
It's-
happens here. And they might have more butterflies than we do.
Sure.
So it's really cool that you can take and swap some of that stuff around. I know, like at the Art Center, every other year, the the National Watercolor Society show comes to Tullahoma, which is a great thing. So, getting stuff like that allows not just our children, but children like me and you to see some stuff that we ordinarily would not get to see, which is wonderful.
Yeah, that's why I do this. So
Yeah.
it's amazing to be able to reach people and introduce them to something that to one person maybe such a simple concept, but to somebody else it's brand new and really just inspire people. That's what's great about working here. So
Yeah. Well, one of the things I want to bring to bear, and it's because I'm an ancient history buff, and I like the Aztecs and the Incas and all of that stuff, and all of the old history. And I have a friend, Steve Smith, who has started 2 years ago building Moai from Easter Island.
yes.
And y'all have gotten together, and Steve is going to put the iconic wall that most people see with about 15
Yep.
Moai that face the ocean is going to be at the Science Center facing the Manchester Highway.
Yeah.
And he's got one that we took out there about a year ago that sits by the front door.
Yeah, it's a
and
small
now
sample one,
now
yeah.
he has another one at his house that's probably 12 feet tall. I think he said the biggest one he's going to build is probably going to be 16 feet.
Yeah. Well, like I said, a lot of exciting stuff
So
coming.
how cool will that be when people drive in from the interstate to Tullahoma and go by the Science Center, and there's the Moai of Tullahoma at Tullahoma's Hands-On Science Center, and hands-on to where these children can walk up there and really look at them and touch them and go, wow.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
That's real science, because where did these things come from?
Yep.
How did it happen? So y'all are just doing an outstanding job out there.
Yeah. I'm so excited to be here. Like I said, it's 9 months now. It seems like,
Pretty cool place to live around here, too. isn't it?
It's amazing. It's a great community. There's tremendous support for the Science Center, and that's really something that I was looking for. And I've definitely, am seeing it. We got all these great ideas coming. And there's, people like you in the community that are excited about it. We just, that's why I'm here, is trying to reach out to people to get more people excited, because we got all this amazing stuff planned, and we just need the support
Now,
to make it happen.
I know you're like all the other nonprofits. Everybody needs money.
Right.
And y'all have a big fundraiser usually in the fall, which is the spirits.
Yeah, the Science of Wine and Brew is the
Wine
big
and Brew.
one we
But
have
now,
going on.
do you have other stuff? Do you have other things happening? We
Yes,
want to make
yeah.
sure that we have information from you when these other smaller events are happening, where people have an opportunity to support.
Yeah, one thing we did do this year that I wanted to, lay everything out and, make things go smoothly for not only our operations, but for donors and,
Sure.
corporate sponsors out there, is at the beginning of the year, a full list of what we're going to do. We have, obviously, the major fundraiser we've done in the past is the
Right.
Science of Wine and Brew. We will be doing more of larger ones like that. We have our birthday party event.
Right.
And then we have our big payback, which
Right.
is a national event.
Right.
And then we're going to plan another large one. We're going to have these monthly events, which we're looking for corporate sponsors to help with those, because it is free, for the guests. We're trying to get more people out there, so we need to reach out to some corporate sponsors to help sponsor those.
Yeah.
And then we're going to have some more medium-sized ones here and there.
That's great,
The
man.
rotational exhibits. We're redesigning the whole interior of the building as
Hey,
well.
the movie screen, not the movie screen, but the room where kids go in,
Yep.
and the cameras, and it shows them moving in color and all
Yes,
of
our
that.
recollections exhibit.
Yeah, is that still good, going well? I mean,
Yeah,
I remember
that's
going
one of
out
the
there
popular ones. We definitely
when
still
that
have
first
that.
went in, and watching. There was a gentleman from California came in and installed that.
Yeah.
And but that's just amazing. Tullahoma Science Center, Hands-On Science Center. You don't find this stuff in every little town. Right here, this man right here, this gentleman right here is in charge. He's large and in charge, and if you don't do what he tells you to, he'll wrap a snake around your neck.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Not quite, but yeah, definitely. Like I said, all kinds of sponsorship opportunities. That's one of the big things I want to say today is we need corporate sponsors
Sure.
for all those events. I briefly mentioned how we're redesigning the interior.
Yeah, that's
we're
great.
organizing the building into separate halls now. We're going to have special area that's the Science of Sight and Sound, a natural history area, an early engineering area, human body, and into the future. And we need corporate sponsors to really step up to the plate and say, hey, I'd like to sponsor that Sight and Sound. Have your name up
you're
there. and stuff.
redesigning the building.
We're reorganizing the exhibits for better flow.
I got a favor.
Uh-oh.
The next time I'm over there, I want to beat that cheetah.
Okay.
Can you help me? Can you fix me up?
I'll give you some tips.
Give me some tips
Do
on
some
how to beat the
stretches ahead of
cheetah.
time, and yeah.
I want to beat the cheetah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're definitely going to plan that, and we're going to have the camera crew out there when we do it, right?
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Sean from Hands On Science Center. Go out there and see this fella and all the wonderful things they do in Tullahoma to help this be one of the greatest small communities in this country. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome back anytime.
I'll be back in next month for this next
Okay.
event.
Sounds good. Right back after these messages.
Let me tell you about the toughest guy on earth. He does the work of 2 jobs, but only gets paid for one. He's tough enough to feed the man who gave him a lifetime of nourishment. He has the crazy strength to lift the man that raised him up without even flinching. That's right. No employee of the month bonus check here. This guy, no, this warrior, will always be by his father's side, even if his dad will hardly remember. Good luck finding a gym to train for that. If this guy isn't the toughest guy on the planet, then I don't know who is. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Is this the year you want to get fit? If so, check out just some of the things Tullahoma Parks and Rec has to offer. Kickboxing, aerobics, silver sneakers workouts, swim lessons, boot camp, water aerobics, basketball, Zumba, yoga, pickleball, lap swimming, treadmill, karate. Get fit, Tullahoma, and have some fun with Tullahoma Parks and Rec.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
Talking history about this and that. It's conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rickman.
And this is Pat Welch and John. We're here for segment 85
Oh, me.
of the Conversations with John and Pat.
Gonna do this song, an old timer. Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. Down by the riverside. I'm gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside. Study war no more. Ain't gonna 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 study war no more. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside, down by the riverside, down by the riverside. I'm gonna put on my long white robe down by the riverside. Ain't gonna study war no more. 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 Ain't gonna study war no more.
All right, John. Who wrote that and when?
I can't remember, Pat. I didn't look it up. I know that there were various folk personalities and country stars who wrote that. I think it was a Negro spiritual, but don't know all the ins
There's
and
the
outs.
long
That's
white
all.
robe by the riverside and a anticipation for baptism.
Gonna lay down my burden. I think it maybe has to do with afterlife.
Okay.
You know, it's there for a person to interpret the way they want to interpret.
The river and crossing over, we referred to Stonewall Jackson's quote right before he passed away about he was going to cross the river and rest in the shade of the trees on the other side. So that.
Pat, I don't want to make much of this, but you know, we discussed something not long ago about me being older, and you may be speaking at my funeral services.
Well, I was really wanting to carry you.
Well,
there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of years are going to go by.
I've started thinking about that. I've started thinking, you know, here you are. You've been inducted into the Wrestling Hall of Fame. You've been acknowledged by the city as one of the leaders and civic-minded person, which you are. And then the school board has the most valuable players, and you are that in the state, and that's highly. But I just wonder if these acknowledgments and all aren't being made because they know something, the doctors have told them something that maybe the community here in Tullahoma doesn't know.
John, I have told you before on that line of thinking that I asked my wife, was the results of my last physical so bad that everybody in town knows I'm dying and except me?
Well, let's get on to our topic.
Yeah, please do. Away from me and on topic.
My wife and my son Mark and I went to the Berlin store not long ago. Put up a picture of the Berlin store. The Berlin store is outside of Lewisburg on the highway, I think it's 431, going past the airport, and it was advertised, or they wrote an article about it in the Rural Electric magazine. I think DRVC put it out. But the Berlin store was a nice place to go to. It was a neat little restaurant inside there, seats about 40 folks, and they have cakes and pies and all this sort of thing, but they have meats and threes on the weekdays as well. It's just a wonderful place to go. Bought some molasses there that I don't normally see.
John, I love the pronunciation in that area of Berlin being Berlin.
It's spelled Berlin, but nobody wants to have anything to do with Germany. All they want to do is say it the way they want to say it, Berlin.
Well, we've got several places in the state that we just refuse to pronounce them like somebody else would. Normandy is one of them instead of Normandy. Lafayette, Tennessee instead of Lafayette.
Yeah.
And if you ask the people why, it's kind of like, we'll pronounce it like we want, you pronounce it how you want.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Now, this little store right across the road from it, and I would encourage others that like to take a little day trip somewhere to go here. It was a good place to eat. Then right across the road from it was a little park area. And show that next one, Philip, if you will. There's Berlin Springs right there. And that's a cave that has fresh, clean, cool water coming out of it. And that's...
John, you said it was outside of Marshall. Is that going to be in Maury then?
It's actually, that's the way Murray is the way I pronounce it, but I'm not going to tell you how to say it, Pat. You say Maury, that's all right.
Is that not the local pronunciation of it there?
Murray.
Wow.
Murray is the way most of the locals say it.
That shows definitely I'm an outsider.
Go to the next picture, Philip. And there is a plaque that stands to the left of that cave. It's on a tree, and next to this tree is a rock, and I didn't make a picture of that rock, but it's about 42 inches in a circle, you know, kind of. And these various people have spoken on that rock at political gatherings down there. And that place, you know, we saw a picture not too long ago you showed, and it used to be a thriving community there at Berlin. But now it's, you know, It rolls up its doors about 2:30 when the restaurant closes, I guess.
That's about time me and you go to bed.
But James K. Polk and Andrew Johnson, both presidents of the United States, spoke at that place, and their names are down there, and they're U.S. senators, congressmen, governors, so forth and so on, all down through there have spoken. And
is that in the write-up in the magazine, John? Are you this much of a historian all of a sudden?
No, I read the article, but it's been a while. And you and I come to this very ill prepared, so we're not going to get into semantics.
No.
Let's go to
we've acknowledged that we're better when we're ill prepared.
And this is a beautiful little spring. That cave runs, makes a little creek, and go. They've got a beautiful. The next one, Philip, a big pavilion, and picnic tables. People eat, buy the lunch over at the store and walk across the road and have a lunch there. But it is a wonderful place. I'd say they'd have a good breakfast too. Now, you go around there and you don't really find much in the way of, there not anything else going on much. I'll tell you one thing that I heard. There was two older gentlemen, older than myself, I think. And they were talking to each other, and then a couple of girls that came in, like you'd see from Farmers.com. They would have, and they would have qualified for that, in my opinion. And they sat down with these older guys, and they were talking, and one of the older guys said,
"Just thrilled them." You
know what kind of lights they had on Noah's Ark? Floodlights. I thought that was cute. Yeah. I wanted to remember that and bring it and say that.
Is good.
Go to the next picture, Philip. Now this is similar to how a country store acted years ago inside the store. Guys in the wintertime gathered around a pot-bellied stove, maybe some of them whittling or whatever, and they'd buy a little bit of crackers and cheese.
It's not too far from
this is
what old post offices used to be like.
Yeah.
And front in the spring and winter and summer.
This is not Berlin. This is Midland, up here between Murfreesboro and Shelbyville, right? Midland, somewhere midway. I might have the wrong place. This is Midland, so it's I pulled this picture out because I saw it not long ago, and I thought it fit with this, because in Chapel Hill years ago there were several stores, but 4 in the middle of town were Lane's, Glasscock's, Roselle's, and I can't remember the other one, but they Spencer's. They all were in the middle of Chapel Hill there, and they competed. Then later on, Kroger would come in, Walmart, whatever, and then these little businesses wouldn't do very good. But people would have expense accounts. They would, the stores kept little running accounts of the groceries that you bought.
Right.
I was going to bring up one thing. When I first came to Tullahoma, there was a grocery store. It was a bigger store, but it's where.
When would that been, John? That been you came
69,
in
70.
Okay.
And Robert Farrell worked as a bag boy at this store. Everybody knows Robert Farrell. He works over at Kilgore's, sold insurance many years.
For a long time.
Robert was the most pleasant, just talk. Robert can talk. A
little.
Oh, just a little bit. And he's the most wonderful guy. And so he...
Has he heard the floodlight story? Because he liked that one.
I don't think I have.
Yeah.
But he's got 2 young men who've done quite well, two sons have done quite well. But I remember Robert years ago at the store, and I know him today, and I just think how wonderful of a guy he is. But that's the way people should be treated in communities on a level like that, a friendship. And so we think about the Berlin store, and if you want to go over there that way sometime, I think it'd be worth a trip over there. If you want sort of a casual, just a good driving day, and have a good meal and see a few sights around the store.
Another place for us to hit when we go to next trek over to your grounds. John, I believe that just about got us on segment 85.
We sure appreciate everyone listening to us.
And it was a fine one, but we've got plenty more to come as long as management will allow us. Thank y'all.
Talking history about the Sandman.
Street
It's
sweeper.
conversations with John and Pat. With John and Pat. With John and Pat.
Have you heard the news? Russell Barnett Automotive Family has launched its new website, russellbarnett.com. Very user-friendly. Over 1,000 new and pre-owned vehicles to choose from, online credit applications, hometown auto rental, customer testimonials, trade appraisals, certified collision center, service department scheduling. Too many reasons to mention why I keep asking the question, why buy anywhere else?
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are very, very pleased today to have one of my good friends on the show, and somebody that you all know, of course, and that is the mayor of Tullahoma, Lane Curley. And I don't think you and I have been together on the stage in over a year or two.
Sure.
I'm not sure why. Probably because
you don't invite me, I guess.
I mean, it could be. It could be. But I wanted to tell you that I am very honored to be able to speak to the mayor of Tullahoma today. I'm kidding.
I'm
of course.
pleased to be here.
Lane is always accessible to everybody. And I think today we're going to kind of sort of hit on some of the highlights of 2018 and talk about what you think about the future of this 2019.
Yeah.
You're always the optimist and feel good about what's going to happen in our city.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Yes, we had a lot of good things happen in 2018, and I think we'll continue that in 2019. I sometimes describe myself as the CEO of Tullahoma, but it's not what people think. It's not Chief Executive Officer, although in some ways perhaps I am. But I think of myself as the Chief Encouragement Officer of Tullahoma.
Good title.
Yeah, you know, so I think it's so important for community leadership to be encouraging, to be accessible, and I think it just gives a connection, you know, with people that, and being an encourager is a multiplier, Jim. I mean, when I'm encouraged, when others are encouraged, you do things that you don't realize you can do, you know, sometimes, and it just allows you to excel even more. So I always want to be an encouragement wherever I am. So 2018 was just an excellent year. You know, the school system had a great year. I serve as a mentor to typically 4 or 5 male students that are graduating from the high school and going on to either a technical school or community college, and that's a great experience to work with those young people. I'm in every elementary school classroom every year, so I see these young people and they're you know, watching their minds and grow, and it's just really fun to be a part of that. From an economic development standpoint, certainly an excellent year. I mean, unemployment, probably 97% of Tullahoma citizens that want to be employed have jobs.
Right.
And that's certainly good. We've seen an awful lot of new businesses start in Tullahoma, an awful lot of independent. And people don't realize, but every month I sign between 8 and 12 welcome to Tullahoma and thank you for your investment letters to people that start businesses in Tullahoma.
No kidding.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Typically, well over 100 new businesses start in Tullahoma. Now, to be fair, an awful lot of those are small, home-based businesses sometimes, but you know, that's how a lot of companies start. You know, they'll start in the garage, and then next year they'll move into a small office, and then next year they'll employ somebody, and then they sometimes grow from there.
Sure.
So it's exciting. So economic development, we've seen an awful lot of independent businesses start, but we've also seen a lot of corporations invest in our community. Planet Fitness, Starbucks, Publix, and I really think 2019 we're going to see even more of that. It used to be 25 years ago, people would follow Walmart Supercenter. And so if the Walmart Supercenter invested in the community, people would let them do all the research, and then they would move to that same community. Well, now people follow Publix.
Right.
They let Publix do all the research, and they make the investment, and then these other businesses will follow.
So that was a huge deal for the community.
It was,
Publix,
yeah. And they're a great employer. You know, they're recognized as one of the best employers in the country, and have been for many years. So from a school system standpoint, from a city government standpoint, we've made a lot of progress in different ways. We continue to earn accolades in Healthier Tennessee. We've earned, for like the 20th year, 20 plus years, being a tree city. You know, trees are very important to a community. We've earned the GFOA, which is an accounting certification that every penny that comes into the city government and every penny that goes out of the city government is accounted for and reconciled and all that kind of stuff. So
and that's
continue to earn
the city's
accolades.
won repeatedly.
Absolutely, been over 20 years.
Yeah.
Absolutely, 20 years in a row. So citizens of Tullahoma, I think, should have a lot of confidence in their city government. We'll do some new things this year. Parks and Rec, we're going to see some improvements in parks all over the community. I'm working sort of behind the scenes at this point with the new city administrator, who, by the way, is doing an excellent job.
Right.
Ms. Moody is just working behind the scenes to make just a lot of good things happen. By far, the biggest request I get from citizens is for more sidewalks. You know, people love sidewalks.
Yes.
You know, they use them for connections. They use them for health reasons. They use them for all kinds of things. So we'll see more sidewalks come up this year as well. So we're building on, I think, the success of 2018. I think 2019 will be even bigger and better for the community.
You mentioned a moment ago Dustin Lynch, of course, did a charity concert here.
Right.
And if I remember correctly, in the same week last year, or in 2018, Dustin was inducted into the Grand Ole Opry, a member of the Grand Ole Opry, the same week that Justice Sheffield moved up to the New York Yankees in the same week.
Right.
Unbelievable to me that both of those events happened, because each one of them was pretty significant.
Absolutely.
To have two folks from Tullahoma.
Absolutely, and we've got the Sheffield brother is doing very well in professional baseball. David Hess from Tullahoma is doing a great job.
Yeah, exactly, and he moved to the majors.
That's
this year
exactly
as well.
right.
Yeah.
And we've had the young man that we recognized at Tullahoma City Hall just last week that earned distinction as a Rhodes Scholar.
Right.
To the best of my knowledge, we've never had a Rhodes Scholar from Tullahoma.
I was thinking maybe you had been a Rhodes Scholar. You were Alderman Mathis one. Maybe.
Yeah, I think you spell mine R-O-A-D-S.
Oh, okay. I see.
I just drive around. That makes me a Rhodes Scholar.
In all seriousness, it is a huge honor.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know, I think the community has to be so proud of all these young folks.
Absolutely. When I called, as soon as I heard that he had earned, Grant Rigney had earned the Rhodes Scholarship, I called him. And I had his father's numbers, and his father gave me the number, and I called, asked if he could talk for a minute, and I said, we'd love for the community to host a reception for you and to recognize your achievement. No, sir, I just don't like to call attention to myself. And I thought, that's sort of the definition of being humble, I think.
Right.
But then after a minute or two, I told him, let's use you as an example to other young people. So finally, he relented. We had a great reception for him, and I'm really proud of Grant. I mean, he'll do big things. I suggested actually a date in early January that maybe he could come to Tullahoma, maybe prior to a city council meeting. No, sir, I can't do that date. And he volunteered that. Why? He said, because I've got an interview at Harvard Medical School
goodness.
the next morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did you tell him by all means do the interview?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay, lots of very positive
Sure.
things happening in our community. It's always nice to have the mayor come by and, kind of reassure us that the ship is sailing smoothly here. Lane,
So far, so good.
Thank you so much.
Thank
and
you.
A great deal of the credit, I think, goes to you. And your
No, I
leadership of this
disagree.
community.
It takes a team effort, and there's a lot of good things, a lot of good folks working really
Lane is a
hard.
very persuasive person. He talked me into running for state representative one time about 30 years ago. It was probably a bad decision, but anyway, it was the experience I'll never forget.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Good.
Lane, thank you so
sure,
much.
thank you.
We appreciate
Yep.
it. We'll be right back, folks, right after this.
It's time for every family and business in Tullahoma to go green and recycle. Tullahoma Public Works makes it simple and easy to recycle. Just place your recyclable materials, paper, plastic, aluminum, and cardboard beside your garbage container on the same day your garbage is picked up. Your recycled materials don't have to be in a fancy container. Recycling is not only the right thing to do, it makes sense. Recycling pays. Paying to bury our garbage costs each of us. Please do your part. Let's go green, Tullahoma, and recycle.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Jacob. I'm the Rooster.
And I'm the Red Maiden. And we would like to welcome you to
Roosterwear.
Yes, Roosterwear is a cottage industry producing accessories for men, women, children, babies, and pets. All items are hand cut and sewn locally. Roosterwear specializes in bow ties, pocket squares, scarves, cufflinks, neckties, and aprons of all sizes for all ages. Baby products include onesies, diaper covers, bibs, and burp pads. All bow ties, tie it yourself or pre-tied, come with an adjustable neckband. All products can be made with a material of your choice, as special orders are available upon request. Don't be standing back looking at fashion. Create your own with Roosterwear.
Come visit us at
roosterandredmaiden.com
to find our handcrafted designs for
the cock of the walk.
I want to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
All right, folks, I'm back, and I tell you what, it's always fun for me when Lloyd comes by and Lyle, not Lloyd, Lyle comes by.
I've been called much worse.
Lloyd Bridges. I was thinking about Lloyd Bridges because Jeff Bridges won an award
That's
the other
right.
night. But when Lyle comes by, he's with the Parks and Rec department, and there's always something cool going on where this guy is. You find him, I don't care what day it is, you find him, follow him around, something cool's going to happen.
Well, I appreciate that.
But I mean, you have brought some really great programs into that department, and the things that you're doing in your educational outreach and lunch and learns and things like that, and I've been to some of them, it's just really outstanding, man.
Well, I appreciate it.
You're to be accommodated for that.
Well, thank you.
Next time you'll get to take the mayor's mic instead of the mayor taking yours.
That's all right. I can defer to him. That's okay. That's all right.
What you got for us today, buddy?
Well, thanks for having me again.
Oh, yeah.
I came by today to tell y'all about we've got some new programs that we're starting this year. In addition to the ones that we already do. Just trying to build up some more of our family type programming and things that parents can come in and do with kids. We're going to start with the inside while it's cold outside, and then we're going to kind of transition to some outdoor parks ones. So I want to tell you about the inside programs today. So the first one that we're going to try is an adult coloring class. Now, some people will laugh, and I totally get that. However, it is scientifically proven to be a stress reliever. And if you think about all the people that have all of these different things pulling them in different directions, places they have to be, things they have to do, job requirements, home requirements, balancing a budget, all that stuff, except for the government. They don't have to worry about that, but people at home do. And so what we're trying to do is develop a class that people can come in and just relax, enjoy themselves. You know, it doesn't always have to be about physical fitness for your body. You know, your mind needs to be physically fit too.
Oh, that's the big deal.
And so this is one of those type classes that helps promote that. And so just to give you an example, so I brought something today.
This is really cool.
So this is the book that we're going to be working out of in the class.
Adult coloring book.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I
They
love
make
it.
lots of. This is another one too. This one's my personal one, but you know, these books are great. They've got some really cool stuff in it. Get a cheap set of colored pencils from Office Depot or Joann's or wherever it is that you go, and you get pictures like this. It's just black and white.
Okay.
Just drawn out, you know, line drawings.
So
figure
it's like
drawings.
the old color by the numbers, except there's no numbers.
Similar.
You
yes.
supply the numbers.
That's right. That's right.
So
And
show that one, and then show the example
Yeah.
here.
So this is one that I like because I like birds of prey. So this is an owl.
Okay.
And so last night I sat around trying to get one ready.
Look at that.
And that's how it came out. And that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be doing in the class.
Isn't that great? I love it.
A long time ago, I wanted to be a comic book artist, and I learned really quickly that I wasn't quite good enough. But art has never left me. I've always still done it just as a fun hobby and things like that.
Right,
So I've learned a
right,
lot.
right.
And so I want to try to pass some of that on to some other folks around here that may need to find something to do to relax.
That you know, and I have some of these books.
Mm-hmm.
I have some of these books,
Yeah.
and to give you an example, folks, how life gets in the way of passion sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
I wrote something last year, and I decided, well, I want to get this illustrated, and then I remembered that I forgot that I liked to color, and I found my pencil box.
Yeah.
And my pencil box was in a desk that I hadn't looked in, and I don't know when. I opened up my pencil box, saw what colors I had, went to Office Max and filled in the voids, and started. And I'm not a good artist either.
You don't have to be.
Well, if you don't have one of these, you have to be, because
Well,
you have to create the character.
Some knowledge, yes.
Yeah, but just to do that and to color, and all of a sudden you look up and you go, where'd that 3 hours go? And you're just stressed free. It's a wonderful thing.
Well, I'm sure it's funny that you say that, because I'm sure there's some parents out there that have sat, you know, in our office, the running joke is that if you bring up YouTube to look for something to teach you how to do something, 4 hours later, you're still on YouTube. So you
Right,
go down that
right.
rabbit hole. Well, this is a different type of rabbit hole. You know,
Right.
Get away from that technology, unplug for a little bit, and do something creative. Create more than you consume.
You bring it from the inside out.
Right.
And it's all in there.
Absolutely.
We've been given all of it.
Absolutely.
And, you know, and it doesn't have to be, don't depend on society's definition of success or happiness to grade your success or happiness.
That's correct. That is absolutely
You know,
correct.
because it doesn't have to be Renoir. It just has to be what you want it to be.
And there's some stereotypes too that this busts. For example, you know, a lot of people will think coloring books are for kids. Well, they're not. Obviously, they make
Right.
them for adults now.
Right.
Then there's a lot of folks that say, oh, well, you have to be an artistic type, like you were saying earlier. You don't have to be. With one of these books, all you have to do is a basic skill with color, is you're just transferring pigment to a paper. That's all you're doing when you color. And it's great. I did that in about 2 hours last night. Just,
Right.
You know, listening to some music and relaxing at my desk for a little bit.
It's very
It
well
was
done,
great.
the
Well, thank
shading
you.
and everything. I was upset recently when I saw an advertisement. Well, it's not recently, about 6 or 8 months ago. I saw an advertisement for Prisma pencils.
Yeah. Prismacolor.
I can't afford Prisma pencils,
There are some expensive ones
but
out
they
there.
are the kind that you can blend them.
Yes.
They sort of they're not a hard lead like some of them, but it's a lead where you can blend colors to get another
Correct.
color the way you want it, which is just an incredible thing if you can afford a box of them.
They also make an inexpensive tool for that. It's called a blending stomp, and it's basically a really tightly rolled piece of paper that kind of looks like newsprint that's really crushed up into a really tight wad. And it's shaped like a pencil, and you can use that to spread over your colors, whichever ones you're trying to merge together. And it takes out all those harsh lines and really makes it a good, smooth transition. Oh, yeah. And they're pretty cheap. You can get them for $2 or $3.
All right, I'm going to ask you a question. This might be getting away from
that's okay.
What you're doing. But do you remember we had a pencil when we were kids that had paper around it?
Yes.
That you unroll the paper instead of grinding it?
Correct.
What type of pencil? Was that a pencil? Was it a color?
Well, there's a few different ones. Probably the more common one you'll find now is they call it a grease pencil. It's for writing on glass and ceramic, and it's just basically rolled paper that's perforated, and as you peel it off, it extends in this case, the grease.
But didn't
lead.
we have like either crayons or colors or something like that?
Yeah, they make crayons.
As well?
They make crayons and pastel colors that do that same thing.
Well, good. I thought I'd had a dream.
No
I thought
dream.
I'd had a dream. I had a dream. Okay, so let's get back to the subject.
Well, so now to go along with this, so now this gives the adults something to do, but one of the programs that we're trying to do at the center is do some more fitness classes for kids. And so we're starting a homeschool PE program for kids who are home during the day and need to get out and do some social activity, exercise, games, and we're going to cover all age groups. We've got a toddler time program, a pre-K kids program,
that's great.
A homeschool PE program that's going to go up to about 15 years old. I think once you get past 15, that's not cool to go do that stuff anymore, but you never know. We won't turn anybody away, but we want the kids to come out, and while the kids are doing that, this coloring class is going to be going on at the same time, so it gives mom and dad something to do too.
But the 15-year-old kid, there's a few of them out there who aren't ball players, who aren't cheerleaders, who aren't band students, they're this.
Right.
And how wonderful it is that you're giving them an opportunity as well, although they might be a small percentage, they need an opportunity to grow in their skill and their craft as well.
Absolutely, and we're just trying to fill that opportunity. Come on in and check it out. I think you'll enjoy it.
Good man. She's got an X. Anything else?
I think that's it for today.
Okay, buddy. Wow, thanks. It's a pleasure every time you come.
Always good to see you.
This guy's fun. I'm telling you, find him. Find his truck. Remember where the dents are on it, where you can track him down, because fun is happening wherever he is.
We like to have a good time.
There you go. We'll be back after these messages.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department. Need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street. Heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
What's a Tennessee vacation? It starts off like any road trip, and then, boom, adventure and thrills everywhere you look, which happens to be some of the most beautiful scenery in the country. Music here, history there, and all kinds of green in between. Come relax and unwind, or bring the crowd for some stargazing, or stargazing. Whatever you do, come hungry and expect an awesome soundtrack. It's all right here in Tennessee. We're playing your song. For a free vacation guide, visit tnvacation.com.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, TV land. Owen, you did a good job there, buddy. It's always good to see my friend Owen and these wonderful camera ladies to put you a nice, clear, clean, contrasty, colorful picture on the screen. You know, this being the last day of January 2002, if you want to get anything done this month, you better get on the stick now because it's about over. But hopefully the rain is about over and the flooding is about over, which brings me to our subject for the day. Some folks have asked, what about Rock Creek and what about Big Springs? Well, we've touched on them from time to time because, you know, Big Spring was the source of water for Tullahoma from the time the Indians were here and the pioneers were here and the Civil War troops were here. They got all their water from the Big Spring there at Wagner Park. And we got our city water for years and years from the Big Spring from its beginning. And the need for more adequate water supply became evident. And I remember the big pump there at the Spring House there at Big Spring. And when Camp Forest was built out here in 1940, they moved the water supply pumping station to out at the springs there, near where the water tank is out there. And we've had water from there up until several years ago when we began to need more and more water that's coming from Duck River now. But back to Big Spring, which was the source in the early days of Rock Creek. I have no idea where Rock Creek got its name unless there are a lot of rocks in the creek at the beginning and through the years. But now there's some water coming from north of the Big Spring, originating somewhere out near Northern Field. And there's another creek that goes into Rock Creek that comes under the bridge on the north end of Cedar Lane. Just beyond that bridge on Cedar Lane, near the Maple Hill housing area there, was the Gunn property. Chot Gunn had a big farm out there where the golf range is and where they're building the new Sears complex. That was a great big farm there, and there's a creek that runs through that farm that joins into the Rock Creek near Wilson Avenue. Speaking of Wilson Avenue, there was no bridge there until in late 20s, early 30s, and they built a new bridge there in about 1936. There was a low water bridge built about that time on West Grundy Street. Until they built that one, though, wagons and trucks and cars would go through the low-lying water there. And of course, the bridge on Lincoln Street was the first major bridge that they built. It was a wooden bridge for years and years. And boy, rains like we've had recently and back through the years have just caused Rock Creek to rise and rise and rise. And over the area on Collins Street, where the Senior Citizens Center is, and the Coffee County Health Department, and the playground, and the D.W. Wilson Community Center there was a big housing project there called the L. Ransom Homes for dependents of service people that were stationed at Camp Forest. And there were several big apartment-type buildings there. And I remember many years ago that when Rock Creek would rise, it would get up into those buildings and up even as high as where the Senior Citizens headquarters is now. All those buildings are gone, and the beautiful Senior Citizens building was originally the headquarters of the office for the L. Ransom Home. But they were used for many, many years, and not too many years ago, the the Corps of Engineers or whoever took care of it dredged the bottom of or the shores of Rock Creek several miles south of Lincoln Street and made it a whole lot easier for the high water to recede quicker, and it did not get as high as it has sometimes in the past. I remember right after the Tullahoma Plaza was built, Big K was over there and some other businesses that one spring Rock Creek rose and got up in all those buildings over there and covered, it was underwater for a block south of and west of where the Life Communications Center is. Got all up in that parking lot, real deep. And but that's been taken care of, and we're glad that that it has. The Tullahoma City Public Works has maintained a real good drainage system throughout the city, and it's been real good that they have. But we've been very fortunate that we have not had so much flooding here in Tullahoma as they've had otherwise. And Rock Creek has been a very integral part of our city. The churches had baptisms in Rock Creek, and many of the farmers came and filled their barrels to get water for their stock at Rock Creek, and it's meant a whole lot to our community. And we sure do thank you for watching today, and remember, this is not the end of the story, because there's a whole lot more to come. One of the things in the immediate future we want to share with you is the all-time favorite downtown gathering place for teenagers and families called the Candy Kitchen. And we're going to do a story on that, I believe next week it's scheduled. And y'all be watching, and we'd be glad to share that with you. Everyone have a good day.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the paint. Uh-oh. I just knocked a tree over. This is the paint doctor. I got the color wheel. Now, you know what a color wheel is? It is the wheel at the paint works where you pick all your colors to paint your room. It could be a multicolored beard. It could be a underarm fan. You never can tell. One thing we do know is that it's time to paint. You know, you can make your wife very happy if you go to your house and paint some rooms, or you paint the outside of the house, the inside of the house. It makes them feel very good because you work hard for them, and they like that. All women like to see their man sweat, you know? They do. Honeydew is what they do. And you get to do it too. So you go to the paint works at 1960 North Washington Street, and you see David Ikonen over there, and he's the real paint doctor. He fixes you up with color. It's so nice when the color is right. Go to Paintworks today. Martin Senor. See? Martin Senor. Right there. Martin Senor at the Paintworks. Bye, and we see you next time. I'm burning up.
You know what, guys? There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Take it away. Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, go, sister. Hey, sister, go, sister, soul, sister, go, sister. He met Mama La down in old New Orleans, strutting her stuff on the streets. She said, hello, hey, Joe, you want to give it a go? Mm-hmm. Gitchy, ya, ya, da, da. Gitchy, ya, ya, hey.
Amy Beckstead, or Amy Argo Beckstead, whatever you want to say. Amy's the one here in the middle. She is representing Patti LaBelle.
Yep.
In the New Orleans, A Night in New Orleans is the gala for South Jackson Civic Association coming up next weekend.
Yes.
And I have on the set with me Cynthia Rebikoff. She's part of the gala committee doing
Yes,
many
ma'am.
things, and Samantha Terrell Waters, who is an actress and a singer. And we have some fabulous people in this show, I have to say. So Cynthia, give us a little rundown on date, time, how to get tickets, and that sort of thing.
It is going to be next Saturday, January the 19th, out at the Arnold Lakeside Club, which is formerly known as the Officers Club.
Exactly.
You can get tickets at southjackson.org or call the office at 931-455-5321. We'll be glad to get you some tickets. We have extended that to this Friday to
good.
make sure that everybody gets their tickets in. We know everybody was busy around the holidays, so we want to give them an extension on that.
And if perchance you called and tried to get a reservation and the phone line was full, well, that's good news for us.
Yes.
But it's because people in the office were on vacation. So we hope you'll call again or go online and get your tickets.
Yes, and this year tickets are $60 a piece, or you can do a table of 10 for $500. And the food, we're going to have a cash bar opening at 6:30 with dinner and the show starting at 7:30. And the dinner, of course, is New Orleans related.
What's some of the food choices?
We're going to have a grits bar ahead of time.
Tell me real quick. I think about grits. That's my grandma's house. Eating about grits. And anyway, what does a grits bar consist
on the grits bar, you're going to have grits. You're going to have mashed potatoes for the people that don't eat grits, and you're going to have your toppings, very colorful. You're going to have your peppers and your bacon and brown sugar, whatever you would like to put on it. Different items you can think of, caramelized mushrooms, maybe
Wow,
even.
that sounds good.
So yes, so that'll be your first thing, and then we will have chicken lavon.
What is that? I know what tarragon is, but what is lavon?
It's basically just like chicken tarragon. We're just going with the theme of where we're going to be.
Going to New Orleans.
Correct.
It's lavon.
And then you will have French Quarter green beans, which is green beans with bacon and onions in it and peppers. So that'll be very good for lots of color.
Sounds fabulous.
Yes.
And I believe somebody told me there was a vegetarian alternate if you don't want to eat meat.
Yes, we do have a couple different salad options. We have
jambalaya on this.
We do also have jambalaya. Yes.
Somebody asked me, jambalaya makes me think there's going to be shrimp and seafood in it. Is there seafood in it? Because I don't
believe that we would have. I don't believe we did the shrimp option in that.
Okay.
Just because we were worried about some people's allergies. But that will be going on. The salads there is a spinach and strawberry salad, and then there's just a tossed salad.
And then I'm assuming drinks.
Correct.
Tea,
yes, tea, water, coffee. Yes, ma'am.
And if you want to just go have another little drink, you will just go buy it yourself. Right?
Correct, at the cash bar. And you'll make sure when you get up and go to that cash bar, we're also going to have a silent auction going on. Lots of great items. The community has been wonderful in supporting us with items for the auction and great entertainment.
Do we have a trip to the Jazz Festival in New Orleans?
We might have a little New Orleans package going on there. You'll just have to show up and find out.
Samantha, you've been with me from the beginning working on this gala because I'm working with the South Jackson Street Band. We're backing the musicians in this show. Some of the things that you're doing.
Well, I'm pretty excited. We're doing a combination of classical, jazz, and blues, and then we're also doing some modernization versions of this. And it is with a live band, the South Jackson Street Band. So we actually have a jazzed up version of a Meghan Trainor song.
Right.
But then also we have some like Billie Holiday, and we have some really exciting numbers that you're going to see. It's going to be a lot of fun. some of the folks that are in it that people might recognize.
Okay.
We have Greg Gressel, we have Melissa Sharan, we have Michael McGee.
Melissa Sharan's being Mae West. You're gonna love that.
Yes, she is hilarious, and she's so good at blues. When she gets up there, she just mans that stage. It's amazing, and we're going to have it decorated. So as soon as you come in, you're going to feel like you're walking in to New Orleans, and we're going to have masks, and we're going to have some other things we don't want to tell you about just yet. You've got to come see it. But we also want to encourage you to dress up. So if you have a top hat, if you have a masquerade mask, if you want to dress up like Mardi Gras, please come. This is a night that it's immersive. So it's immersive art. So you get to enjoy someone else performing for you, but you also can dance, sing along, and just really enjoy the night. It's a great date night, but also to come by yourself too, with your girlfriends or whatever you want to do.
Just come and have a good time. Amy, you are doing Patti LaBelle, which is Lady Marmalade, with your
that we opened.
with
You
the
have
segment
some
with friends, but you're also doing something else.
some
What else?
Tina Turner, a little Proud Mary,
Yeah.
and then helping a lot of the other singers with just a little bit of backup.
Jump, Jive, and Wail,
right? Yeah.
And I don't know if you all know that I'm doing this, but I found out a lot of the songs that are popular in New Orleans, and there's so many I couldn't locate them all. But I've brought Tyler Lund in to sing New Orleans Ladies, and I don't know if you've heard it.
I have not heard that.
Two people have asked me, "Are you doing New Orleans Ladies?" And so I was so glad that I dug that out. And as many songs as possible have the New Orleans theme. I'm going to name a few of the actors, if I may.
Go right ahead.
You've already mentioned a couple. I have Cernobia and Michael McGee. Michael is doing Sammy Davis Jr. and Louis Armstrong song. I have your little group is Jacqueline Sullinger Painter with a new no, she's not doing this.
She can't do it
We
this
had to
year,
take
but
her
we
out
have
this
Lindsay
time.
Seaborn.
We have Lindsay Seaborn and Martha Brooke Hood.
Yes.
She's the one that's married recently also.
Right. And
Okay.
Lynn Seaborn is our announcer for the night, our MC, and he's also singing this year.
And something else I've added that you all haven't seen practice is Miss Sadie, the Cajun Raging lady.
Oh, that will be
And
amazing.
She has a few jokes she's going to pull off with you, and she'll be dressed in her stylish Cajun outfit.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So that'll be fun.
Sadie always
I
makes
hope
the
I'm not
party.
missing anyone. I feel like I'm missing somebody.
You've got Jerry Anderson.
Oh, Jerry
Right.
Anderson. He's
Wonderful.
our regular
Awesome.
band singer, and he's going to do some Elvis and some
Sinatra,
other
that
things.
sounds-
And I want to encourage dancers to come. Even though there's a lot of singing going on in this event, we encourage ballroom dancers, and we have some fabulous dancers that will be there, and we hope that you come and just get right out there on that dance floor. Long School of Dance is sending us, I'm calling them the Darktown Strutters, because they're doing a tap routine and or some kind of routine, and they'll be fabulous. And that is, I have to look at this, Molly George, Ellie Georgas, Kaylee Smith, and Miss Olivia Anderson. And we're delighted that they were kind enough to, they wear fabulous costume. Oh, Jeanette King.
Yes.
Don't forget
Oh, she's
Jeanette.
a
What a voice she
powerhouse,
has.
yeah.
She substitute for you the other night and
Oh,
just
did
did
she?
fine. Yes, you did. So tickets are on sale. Please call this number or go to that website. And actually, the table deal is a big deal.
Yes.
10 people can sit at a table, so you got a table for $500, and you can charge everybody $50 instead of $60. So that's a real good deal. If you come at 6:30, that's when the cash bar is, and you bid on the auction items.
Correct.
So what have I left out?
You've done pretty good
Have I
covering it
done
all.
pretty good?
You have. You were talking about date night. It's a great girls' night out too.
Yes, it
Get
is.
your girlfriends together and just come and have a good time.
I think it'd be wise if I mentioned the South Jackson Street Band a little more, because these guys have been working the music probably for 6 months now.
Yes.
And it's a huge commitment for them, because they come from McMinnville, from Fayetteville, from Nashville, and they come all over, usually every 2 weeks, to rehearse. And so it's been a big commitment. We have several people, band members that are from here in Tullahoma, Jim Fitzgerald. Oh, by the way, we're doing a little bit of Dixieland jazz that I forgot about, and that's a neat thing. But we have Scott Young, who is from here, Charlie Hickerson, Alan Johnson, who is leading the band, and I know there's many others, and I can't call them all off because I'll just get confused and feel bad because I left somebody out. Now we have 30 seconds. So when you get there, just come to have a good time, come to relax and support South Jackson Civic Association and the many projects that we try to keep going. It takes a village. It's not all of us are volunteering to take care of the music and what's going on, and I do hope that you will come out. If you can't come, send us $10. We'll take it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, we're excited. All right, ladies,
Yes,
thank you
Thank you for having
So,
us.
Hey, Sister Soul, Sister, we'll be back with something else.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family caring for your family since 1932.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play, what you wear, how you dance, or even what direction life takes you. You just need to be there. You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Happy New Year, one and all. We'll see you next time.
All right.